Hello, my name is Ray Lapuz and I am the instructor for the online course for elementary algebra. In the summer of 2015, this course will cover 3 courses. We got Math 110, that is the 5-unit course that covers both halves of elementary algebra. Math 111, and that will cover the first part of elementary algebra. And for those people that have already completed Math 111, we have Math 112 that will cover the second part of linear algebra. Again, my name is Ray Lapuz. The best way to get a hold of me is through email. And my email is rlapuz2@my.smccd.edu. I have another email, and you may have actually received an email from me through my other email. But this is the email that I do prefer, rlapuz2@my.smccd.edu. And I should be able to respond to this email within 12 hours. And if I don't respond to your email, you should send me another one just in case it gets lost in the mix. This is an online course, and the course site that we will be using is My Math Lab. Now, some of you may be familiar with that already. If you're not familiar with that, there's going to be another part of the orientation that will cover My Math Lab in detail. I don't have any set office hours, but if you send me an email, again, my email is rlapuz2@my.smccd.edu. If you send me an email, I will respond back with some possible times that we can meet, and hopefully we would be able to meet. The prerequisite for this course is Math 811, and hopefully you've already either completed that course or you have scored appropriately enough in our placement exam. And I gave a quick description of the course already, and here's the other description of the course. And we have course outcomes and what you should be expected to know by the end of this course. I want to also make a note that this course should be the course that you would be taking if you are preparing for calculus. And if you are trying to take these classes in order to take statistics, you should be examining the course Math 190. 190 is our pre-statistics course, and that should get you more directly in line for statistics than this particular course. This course should get you set up to go through trigonometry, pre-calculus, and the calculus courses. For this class, you are required a computer access code that you can either purchase at the bookstore or you can purchase it online. If you buy it online, I think it's around $97. If you buy it at the bookstore, you can get the access code for $80 or so. So it's a little bit cheaper at the bookstore. The whole textbook is online, so you can actually access the textbook once you have purchased the code or once you have signed in for the code. If you want a hard copy of the textbook, then I suggest going to the bookstore and buying the code with the textbook shrink wrapped together so that you can get a little bit of a deal. You should get a graphing calculator, and this graphing calculator will serve you well for this class and future math classes. And our course IDs are listed here. If you are going to be taking the Math 110 class, you have a course ID of LAPUZ 18245. If you're taking the 111 class, your course ID is LAPUZ 71525. And if you're taking the 112 class, your course ID is LAPUZ 45466. These course IDs will be needed as you register for this class in my math lab. Once you've inputted this and once you are registered in that class, then you won't need to know this course ID anymore. This is a one-time deal that you would use to sign up for this class. This orientation is retrieved by going to my website, and we will also have a live online orientation on our scheduled day and time for our orientation. So details about that can be found on my website. Just look for this particular class in the summer 2015 slot, and you can get all the details. The exams for this class must be proctored, and the best proctoring deal we have is through Cañada College at the Learning Center, and we have proctoring dates for the midterm and the final exam. If for some reason you are unable to make these proctoring dates and would like to set up a different proctoring environment, you should send me an email as soon as possible so that we can arrange for an appropriate proctor for you depending on where you might be this summer. We have other resources. The Learning Center is on the second floor of Cañada College, Building 9, and in the summer it's usually well staffed with a lot of good tutors that can help you. We also have computers there, so you can do your homework and your quizzes and use that place for studying. My math lab also offers some phone and online tutoring. You can explore that website to find out how you can get access to that. We have some course policies here, communication policies. The best way to get a hold of me is email. I'm not very good at returning phone calls and stuff like that, so make sure you send me an email. If you need to drop the class, the last day to drop with a refund is June 17th, so that's the first week of classes. If you stay with a class and somewhere in the middle of the semester you decide that you need to drop this class, you can only drop it with a W, and the last day to drop with a W, that's a withdraw. The last day to drop with a W is July 14th. It'll be your responsibility to go to WebSmart to drop this class if you need to. If you don't drop, you will receive a grade, and if you have not been doing any work thinking that you have dropped it, but you have not dropped it from WebSmart, you will be receiving an F in the class. Also, if you don't take the midterm by our scheduled date, then I will drop you from my math lab, but it'll be your responsibility again to drop from WebSmart. Otherwise, you will receive a grade. Makeup policies. We have makeup policies for quizzes. If you are enrolled in Math 111 or 112, you can make up 2 quizzes. If you are in Math 110, you can make up 4 quizzes. To make up a quiz, send me an email. Again, my email is rlapuz2@my.smccd.edu, and it's important that you have your subject header to be Makeup Quiz Math 110 or Makeup Quiz Math 111 or Makeup Quiz Math 112. That is in the subject, and in the body, in the message, you would give me information why you need to make up, which quiz you're talking about making up, and you have up to 1 week to make up a quiz. The midterm and final exams have set dates, and so if you know that you're going to have a conflict, you should let me know ahead of time. Otherwise, there are no makeups for these exams. We have some college policies. Please do not cheat. If you have DSPS needs, Disabled Student Services, we have their website address you can contact. And anything to do with enrollment, you can either go to WebSmart or you can go to our admissions and records in the first floor of Building 9. Note that this is not a self-paced class. We have deadlines, and we will be taking a look at the calendar soon. But you should check your calendar for due dates. Your grade will be based on the homework for 15%, the quizzes for 20%, and the rest of your grade will be based on the 2 exams that you'll take. We have a plus-minus grading scheme, and these are the percentages you need to get the appropriate grades. The homework assignments are a little tricky. I don't have due dates for the homework assignment until the very end of the term. However, the homework assignments are prerequisites to the following homework assignment and the quizzes. So if we take a look at quiz for Chapter 1, you need to get a 70% on the last section of the homework in order to take that quiz. And before getting 70% on that last section before the quiz, you need to get 50% on the previous sections of the homework assignments. So all these assignments all have prerequisites. So the quiz, although the quiz is due on a certain date, you need to complete the homework assignments for that section beforehand. So if the homework or the quiz is due on the 19th, for example, of June, you should not wait till that very same day to start your quiz, because you're going to need to do about 5 sections of homework and get an appropriate score in those homework assignments before you can complete the quiz. The exams will be proctored. And again, if you have special needs or if you need to make special arrangements, send me an email well before taking the exam. Alright, so that is the quick rundown on the syllabus. Let us take a look at the schedules for Math 110. We have the first quiz due on June 19th. Again, if you have homework, if you have not done the homework before June 19th, there's probably a very little chance that you'd be able to complete the quiz, because there's about 4 or 5 sections that you need to complete. It's not saying that you can't do it. You can probably still do it, but I would suggest that you really take the time and spread out your homework during the week. So quiz 1 is due on the 19th, quiz 2 is due on the 24th, quiz 3 is due on the 29th, quiz 4 is due on July 2nd. We have a holiday after that, and we come back from the holiday. Half or a little bit more than half of Chapter 5 is due on the 6th of July, which is also the time when the midterms exam happen. So the midterms are set for the 6th, 7th, and 8th of July. Now, that just means, it doesn't mean that you have to take it for 3 days. It means that you pick one of these days, either one of these days, and decide on when you're going to come in to take the midterm. And you could take the midterm as long as the Learning Center is open, and the summer hours for the Learning Center are Monday through Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you could take your exam, say, on July 7th at 5 o'clock. You'll have 2 hours to complete your exam, and then you would be done. I usually give some extra credit for taking the exam earlier. So I give some extra credit points if you take the exam on the first day when it's available. After that, the second half of Chapter 5 is due on the 10th. Chapter 6 is due by the 15th. Chapter 7 is due by the 17th. And Chapter 8 is due by the 20th. Now remember that this is a 5-unit course, usually set for 17 weeks, and we are going to cram it into 6 weeks. So please make sure you allocate enough time. If you are working full-time, it's not really advisable for you to take a 5-unit course for the semester, for the summer semester. So please be careful with your time. The final exams can be taken on the 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. The Learning Center is closed on Fridays. In fact, the whole campus is closed on Fridays, so we do not have classes there. You cannot take the test on the 24th, and that is the end of the semester. If we take a look at the Math 111 schedule, since this only covers half of the 110, we're only going to do half of the work. This is a 3-unit course, and the first quiz is going to be due on the 22nd. So basically the quizzes will be due on Mondays, and we're going to go up to quiz number 3 for your midterm. You will have a midterm on the same dates, July 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then after that, you have Chapter 4 and half of Chapter 5 to complete for the rest of the semester until you take your final exam. So that is a story for Math 111, the first half of elementary algebra. The second half of elementary algebra is Math 112. And again, we're going to have quizzes on Monday. Now, Math 112 will start with Chapter 5. Now, you may have had an instructor who has completed Chapter 5 or begun Chapter 5, but we will start with Chapter 5. So the first part of Chapter 5 is going to be due on the June 22nd. The second half of Chapter 5 will be due on the 29th. Then Chapter 6 will be due on the 6th, where the midterm begins. After that, we have Chapter 7 and Chapter 8 due until the final exam on the same dates, the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd of July. So that is a layout for our syllabus and our schedule, and I would highly suggest that you print out the schedule so that you know what you're getting into. And our next part of the orientation will cover the registration and our course website, My Math Lab. See you then.